Right, tomorrow night, 8 p.m, Stamford Bridge. Enzo Maresca's Chelsea take to the pitch for the first time in what feels like an eternity when we take on Ange Postecoglou's mate, Tottenham Hotspur. And for the first time in what feels like an eternity, making a return to the Joey Knight podcast, co-host Joey Knight, is the big dog, the channel fan favourite, the legend that is Joshua Aveste. Josh, what's happening, mate?
Are you the co-host or are you just the host? I would just say the host.
The hostess with the mostess.
Yeah, you are.
Hostess with the most stress at the minute.
Have you got a lot of stress in your life right now?
It
It doesn't show on your face. You're looking coiffed. You're looking smooth.
I'm looking gaunt, mate. I'm cutting weight.
You're looking tanned.
I am looking tanned, yeah, that's one good thing.
Those Tenerife trips, they do just come around pretty quickly, don't they?
I want to go out to Tenerife, but...
When was the last time you were in Tenerife?
Oh, mate, feels like a lifetime ago. Last time I was in Tenerife, probably like September, maybe.
Do you reckon Chelsea would ever do a pre-season tour of Tenerife? Any good football teams?
Bloody well should do. FC Tenerife.
That's a
Just
good
careful with that wire.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into today's video. Obviously, we are going to be previewing the match. We're going to be speaking a little bit about Spurs and what a emphatic season that they've been having. Let's have it right. We are going to be giving our starting lineup picks, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is a starting lineup that I can very much be confident about for the first time in quite a long time, because it looks like we've got a lot of our key names back. And with Enzo Maresca, if I'm going on the history, if I'm going on the form, and I'm going on what we've seen from him so far, I think that he will be just looking to throw a few of the big dogs straight back in there. And we're also going to cap it off with a score prediction. But firstly, before we do any of that, I've had a look at the analytics. I always go on about this. The hardcore know this, but they're already subscribed. I got it down, right, to about 28% of regular viewers who are tuning into every single video that aren't subscribed. And that's quite a solid number, 28%.
I think you should be incredibly proud of that.
Yeah? Do you know what it's on now?
Tell me.
It's on 42%. Nearly half of you are scumbags. No, joking. No, I'm only joking. But if you could click the subscribe button, if you're watching all the time and you're not subscribed, I know that the YouTube algorithm will put it on your homepage. So for you, it's no stress. But for me, it's a little bit of stress. And we're trying to keep stress less, aren't we?
We're also trying to put the pressure on and put some stress on YouTube for not sending you a plaque. So any more subscribers possible would just really help our case.
There you go.
Because that plaque should be with you right now. Really,
by the time I get the gold one, I'll probably get the silver one sent through the post. So
you're going to get the diamond one before you get the silver one.
There you go.
I've been so, by the way, before we get into this, I've been so looking forward to football returning. I've forgotten what the FA Cup is. I didn't even bother with last weekend. Who cares about the FA Cup?
Who cares?
We don't.
Who cares?
Erling Haaland's injured. That's good news. That's good news for us.
Well, we're going to get to that today, because that may be something that definitely affects the race for the top four. But there was one good thing, and one good thing only, to come out of the international break.
You didn't come out.
No, I didn't come out in the international break. No. To come out of the international break was obviously our boy, your doppelganger, Reece James.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ricardo Madrid.
Kick. No, still don't know what the hell is going on with him. That free kick from Reece James was a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Enzo Maresca does a press conference today, says that he needs to be constantly managed and we need to worry about him. So it's lovely that Reece is scoring for England.
How good was it to see Reece James and Thomas Tuchel reunited?
Memories.
Yeah.
Just some beautiful little moments, wasn't it? I miss Thomas Tuchel more than ever.
Really?
In this moment. Not because necessarily I've got anything against Enzo Maresca, but more so just hearing him speak in the press conferences, like him being back in London, in and around England. It is so good. By the way, he's still living in Germany. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
When was the last time you heard an England manager not living in England?
Fabio Capello, maybe?
Did he live in Italy full time?
I don't know. I think he might have lived in Spain.
How dare he?
Yeah.
Italian in Spain.
Yeah, I know.
No, that's not on.
No way.
No, it's very good to see Tommy back.
Emily in Paris vibes.
Emily on Paris.
I've not watched that, by the way, Josh.
Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah. Why do you brought it up?
Well, listen, Thomas Tuchel spoke about Reece James a little bit, and obviously he spoke about the fact that he's always kind of seen him as a right back. Enzo Maresca has spoke about the fact that he's always seen him as a central midfielder. I do doubt Enzo Maresca on those comments, not in terms of Reece being able to play there, because Reece can play wherever he wants, whenever he wants. But, well, not whenever he wants. Let's be honest, he's pretty injury prone, but wherever he wants, when fit and available. But I do doubt that, because I think that if you did always see Reece as a midfielder, we'd have seen it in more than just the one pre-season game, which I believe was against Club America. All the other ones we saw him play along the back line. We saw him play left back against Man United. We've seen him play right back, and we've seen him play central midfield under Enzo Maresca. So I more so think those quotes came off the back of a really solid performance, and then kind of ran with it, whatnot. So not to criticise either manager, but if you had to really put your money on it now, what is Reece James's best position, Josh?
It is what it always has been. To be fair, it's right back. And to be fair, let's be honest, where in the pitch do Chelsea have the most options right now, if you're being honest with it? The answer is
probably central midfield.
Central midfield.
Yeah.
We've got so many players that can play there. We've got players that are going out on loan to Strasbourg next season that aren't even going to be anywhere near the Chelsea squad, that are playing for Chelsea right now. And we've got players returning from loan. And we're about to sign the next Moises Caicedo, apparently, is what they keep saying to him in Isugu. So why is Reece even talked about here? We're going to have to sell players as
Do you think there's a world where both men could be right? In terms of Thomas Tuchel could be right and Enzo Maresca could be right, because Thomas Tuchel is not talking about the load of a player who, if fit and available, captain of your side, you would expect to be playing, 2 games every 10 days or so. He's more talking about a player that's going to link up with them in qualification, being that we're a sort of major nation, have the opportunity to be rested in certain games, and then it's, all out, full throttle for a tournament. Take your chance. If you get injured, you get injured. Someone else comes in, and we have got really good options in that position. So do you think that Reece could be a right back for England, but maybe not necessarily right back for Chelsea, and it could work in both ways?
The thing that you see with modern right backs, if we're being honest with you, and let's look at one of his biggest competitors for that position in Trent. Like, they get up and down the pitch, they find themselves in central areas, they find themselves in wing back areas. And really what Tommy was saying is he sees him as a wing back / fullback, doesn't he? And the way that Reece plays that position is he'll pop up on the right wing, he'll get a cross in, or he'll beat a man and get some low crosses in, and he'll be involved in that position. So I think a lot of managers now are moving away from this sort of like positional, thing. Like Graham Potter, to his credit, said this as well. He's less on positions per se and more where you find yourself on the pitch more often in attacking mentality and your defensive phase. And that's the way that modern football's going. So this whole thing about where is he playing, where's he best, is a bit of a misnomer, isn't it? Basically, the key thing that Tommy wants and the key thing that Enzo Maresca wants is he wants him on the pitch.
Yeah, and really, it also comes down to the personnel that's on the pitch at that time. Like, there's a vast contrast between having Dan Burn at left back and having Cucurella at left back. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, of course, Reece is going to get into more offensive positions when Dan Burn's playing left back for England, and it sort of joins up as a back three and whatnot, rather than Cucurella, who's bombing on and playing as a inverted number 10 or something like that. So be interesting to see where he plays. Obviously, stick around for the starting lineups, because then you will see where we have put Reece James. Now, one man I do want to speak about, right, is Nicolas Jackson. The prominent son has returned. The man that was on an 8-game dry spell before his injury.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Yet, when he came out the team, all of a sudden, we're missing Jackson so much. But I want to give you a little couple of stats here, right, that would actually suggest that is way more truthful than people will have you believe, because people like to throw that at you, don't they? They like to tarnish it, and they like to go, oh, well, you're saying the goals dried up when Jackson came out. He hadn't scored in 8 games before that. Well, he had got 2 assists in those 8 games before that. But if you have a little look at it, right, 10 goals in 8 without Jackson, as opposed to 15 in the 8 before Jackson came out the team. Now, those 8 games, right, the 15 goals in the 8 games, those 8 games included the loss to Fulham. They included the 0-0 draw at Everton. They included the loss to Ipswich, another game where we didn't draw, so where we didn't score. So I've just named there like 3 games off the top of my head where we weren't playing good football anyway. So what I'm saying is, with Nicolas Jackson in the team, even when we were playing shit and he was going through a dry spell, just his presence on the pitch was resulting in us scoring more goals. Do you think it is that simple? Because I always say I'm a simple man, and I do believe it's that simple.
Yeah.
I believe Nicolas Jackson comes back into this starting lineup. I believe that Cole Palmer starts to flourish a lot more, and the wide men can be wide men and play a lot more in that mould.
It really is a simple, more so I think, than just the Nicolas Jackson factor. It's more of having an out-and-out number 9 to be able to play off. I think even bringing back Mark Yu will be beneficial for this team. But going on to Nicolas Jackson's qualities, I do think he has the ability to run in behind, have immense pace, and create things. And ultimately, what I feel that we've really lacked in recent games is the movement side of the game. I think Pedro Neto is very good at finding runs and finding space, but if you don't have willing runners in and around him with some of the underperforming wingers, I think, then you really do suffer. So to have someone of Pedro Neto's quality start a game, which spoiler alert, I hope he does start, and you then involve players like Nicolas Jackson, and then you've got players in behind him like an Enzo, like a Moises Caicedo and a Cole Palmer that can provide the incisive balls that we've seen played to Nicolas Jackson. That goal, was it against West Ham, where the ball sort of just goes through the middle and Nicolas Jackson runs onto it? It sticks out to me as one of the key examples of this. I believe that was a Caicedo pass, which was an unbelievable pass.
But before we get into all that, are you finding it difficult to make time for a balanced meal? Well, that is where Huel comes in. Huel is spelled Huel and is today's sponsor of the Joey Knight podcast. And the black edition, which I have got in my hand right now, is a meal in a bottle. It's got 35 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and it's low on sugar, and it's all in this one little bottle. And you know you can trust these guys because they have sold over 500 million meals already. You can find them in your local Tesco's, Sainsbury's, or at the Huel website itself. And for new customers shopping at Huel.com, you can try it with £10 off plus a free gift by just using my exclusive code Joey Knight at Huel.com. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, time goes like that, especially in the morning, and all of a sudden, I need to be out the door. I have not got time to cook myself up an omelette or a breakfast, so I drink one of these bad boys in the safe state of mind, knowing I have just had a healthy meal. And the best part of it, trust me, I can vouch for it, they taste banging. The downside of these things is always that they don't taste very nice. This one literally just tastes like a chocolate milkshake. I wouldn't know the difference. And they've got loads of other flavours: strawberry, banana, vanilla. They've even got iced latte. And every single one of those flavours is low in sugar. And lastly, Huel is incredibly affordable. It is a budget option if you need to get a quick meal on the go. So make sure you support the channel by supporting the guys who support us, and use my code Joey Knight at the checkout for £10 off and a free gift when you purchase your first Huel. Thank you very much to Huel for supporting the channel. Let's get back into the video.
There
was another unbelievable Caicedo pass to Nicolas Jackson, and that was against...
Was it against our opponents this Thursday?
No.
Who was it?
It's against Liverpool.
Yes.
Do you not remember? Liverpool
yes,
one.
I do remember that one.
I sort of thought he was on offside at first.
Yes.
And I was like, no, he's onside.
Yeah.
Caicedo, lovely through ball.
This is the thing. Nicolas Jackson is denigrated by so many people. And the
What's
fact
that mean?
it means put down.
Oh, right.
Put down by so many people.
Castigated.
Castrated.
Yeah.
Any others? Maybe what we should do is we should do a Joe United podcast word of the day. And we'll just add that in.
Honorific ability to do.
Yeah. Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
What the fuck is that?
It's the longest word in the English language.
Oh.
There you go.
There you go. Back onto Jacko.
We are going to be a far better team with him playing. And what I'm most interested to see is how much better we're going to be next season if he has some competition and who ends up actually playing. Because I actually have a sneaky feeling that when Rory Delap's son, Liam, joins us in the most inevitable signing of the summer, because that will be the option that we go for, Nicolas Jackson will be the default out and out number 9. And I do think even if it is Gyökeres, that is the option that we bring in, I still think Nicolas Jackson could be the number 1.
I think Nicolas Jackson could play alongside Gyökeres, but I think I'd have Gyökeres as my number 1. I'm really not interested in Liam Delap all that much. Like I've said time in, time out, stick Mark Gu in that Ipswich side, similar sort of return. I went on Jan's podcast and I went, I don't want to sign Rory Delap.
Yeah.
And he went, really?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that, by the way.
I went, nah. I said, I don't want to sign him. Like I said, I think if you put Mark Gu in the Ipswich team, and he was like waiting for me, and he went, are you talking about Liam Delap? And I went, yeah, who did I say? He went, you said Rory Delap.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, sorry, yeah.
Can you believe that Rory Delap, the Stoke City, was he a defender? The Stoke City defender.
He was a right back, Rory Delap, wasn't he?
Yeah, has produced like this amazing, young striker option. Do you know what? I think we should do a podcast once on like father-son combinations and the different positions in which they play. Because often you stick to the same position as your dad. Makes sense, doesn't it? You're awful.
You got a sick mind.
You've got a sick mind. But this is the thing. I think the general
He's told
point,
you the story of how you were conceived.
Yeah. The general point that I'm trying to make is, I think Nicolas Jackson has an unbelievable ability to prove people wrong, and I think he's proven people wrong left, right, and centre. He can't get the positions out of his head. Do you want to tell him? Do you want to tell him your favourite position now? Why are you thinking about it?
No. I like a high press.
No, we're gonna be much better for him. I can't wait to see him in the team. I do worry about bringing these players back into what is quite a high intensity game when they've all had injuries, and I don't want to touch wood now. Everyone watching, not like that, Joey. I hope we don't get any reoccurrences of injuries. Have you heard the news about Romeo Lavia?
Yeah, I've heard.
Romeo Lavia apparently is also again injured.
Injured again. They don't know how long. I reckon he'll be out for the rest of the season, to be honest.
I think that my prediction of the day will be that this is the nail in the coffin, and Romeo Lavia will be sold this summer.
Don't know about that. He has looked quality when he's played, but it is what it is. Andre Santos coming back. That can't be a bad thing. Now, listen, right? I want to sprinkle some positivity in here for Chelsea fans, not for Man City fans, but Man City, right? Looking at it now, Nottingham Forest are nailed on. They've got that Champions League spot. No one's catching them, right? So we're now looking at Man City. We're looking at Newcastle. We're looking at a few other teams around them. And obviously, to an extent, and I hate to say this, you do have to look at Man United and Spurs. Not from a domestic.
Don't.
Well,
not
mate,
for Champions League.
Well, mate, you do.
You don't.
Not from a domestic point of view, but you have to look at them.
From the Europa League.
You have to
okay,
look
fair
at them
enough.
for
I was going to the table there, and I had to scroll down 8 times to get to Man United and Tottenham.
But you have to look at them from a perspective of being able to qualify from winning the Europa League. Obviously, Spurs are allergic to trophies. Man United aren't good enough to do it, so it doesn't matter, right? And even if they did, I think it would still just be knocked down a position. But what I'm saying is, I look at Man City as being our biggest threat at the moment. There's 2 sides to the coin. I think that Haaland being out for the rest of the season may actually bring Pep back to his origins of like 2 years ago, where you see a more free-flowing Manchester City side, a fluid Manchester City side. I actually think that Mamouche is like... Is it? You can't really call January signing of the season, can you?
Why not? Why couldn't you call him?
Who
signing
would
of the
be
season?
signing of the season, by the way?
So far?
Yeah.
Trying to think. It wouldn't be. Liverpool haven't made any crazy signings. God.
I like
is more difficult.
Mamouche. I like Mamouche.
Yeah.
I look at Mamouche and I'm like, you're right up there, you are.
Yeah, because the other City signings, even in January, haven't really.
There's always like a obvious one that we're not saying that just hasn't like jumped out at us. But I mean, in terms of Arsenal, no. In terms of Liverpool, I don't think there's anyone that like really jumps out at me.
No.
I think that signings from last season for Liverpool have got a lot better. Signings that I thought at one point were almost flops have got way better. And some signings that I thought were good have got a lot worse this season.
Yeah.
Talking about Gravenberch and Gakpo.
Yeah.
In the other order in terms of one getting better, one getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
But Mamouche, I think he might end up being one of the signings of the season, if I'm being completely honest. I think he's been absolutely unreal.
Yeah, I think he's a good option.
Do you know what? There's a couple of Bournemouth lads that you might chuck in there as well. There's a couple of the Bournemouth lads.
They've been
centre back
that
we want.
Yeah.
How's it pronounced?
Hussein.
Hussein.
Well, it's Hujsen.
Yeah, but either way,
Spanish.
Right? Either
it's
way,
not a Spanish name.
Either way, Mamouche may end up leading to a more fluid City attack, and maybe they improve. But the facts are the facts, and the facts are that they're going to be without Haaland for the rest of the season. They're going to be without Akanji for the rest of the season, I believe. They're obviously going to be without Rodri for the rest of the season. I believe they're going to be without John Stones.
He might be coming back, Rodri.
No, they're going to be without him. I believe they're going to be without John Stones for the rest of the season. So that is something that's more positive. Now, can I give you my, I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory, but a theory, right? Because we had a look at our running and we looked at the running and we went, fucking hell, that looks tough, right? A lot of tough games in there. We had a look at Nottingham Forest's running and we actually thought, you know what? Fancy them to win most of them games. They got one of them wins last night against Man United. Fancy them to win a lot more. And we looked at City's running and we thought it was quite favourable, right? Now, when you look at Chelsea's running, I've got a little, it could be a conspiracy theory, or it could just be a what do they call it? A hot take when someone's just talking shit, basically.
Yeah.
I think there's one meaningful game in there. I only Newcastle.
Really?
So let me look at these, what we've got, right? So, for me, last night, the fact that Wolves beat West Ham means that if you didn't already know, which I already knew this, but if you didn't already know, there is no such thing now as a relegation battle.
No, the relegation battle is well and truly
relegation is done.
Yeah.
And that immediately means that games against the likes of relegation candidates, like obviously Ipswich, Everton at one point, Man United, they become sort of slightly less what?
That's just crazy, isn't it? That we've just said those words.
What,
imagine imagine if you said to your younger self, went back in time and just said Man United are going to be in a relegation battle.
They are in a relegation battle, but it just so happens that there's 3 teams that have, been worse.
Yeah, fair enough.
And some of them haven't even, had parachute payments to help them improve. So there you go. And if Man United were to get parachute payments, it'd probably be the most payments that anyone's put into that club in a long time, wouldn't it? So there you go. Maybe they want to go down. Brentford have no chance of any European hopes, although Fulham do. So Fulham's maybe a meaningful game. I'm at the Fulham game. I'm going to the Fulham game.
You've always been a bit of a Fulham fan.
Fuck off. Liverpool will most certainly have the league wrapped up by the time that they take the trip to Stamford Bridge. So in terms of a real 6-pointer, I think that the Newcastle game might decide everything.
Forest.
No, mate.
You think it's done?
It's done.
Mm. So what they do last game of the season? They're just there for the party.
Yeah, more or less. If I'm Morgan Gibbs White right now, I'm trialing speedos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just in his personal time.
If I
just a bit of fun.
Callum
Nothing to do with the Champions League.
Yeah. I'm, going on Amazon and buying snorkel sets.
Okay. You a big snorkeler?
Eh?
You a big snorkeler?
I'm a big muff diver.
There's a lot of liquid involved. I can't believe you've spun. By the way, I can't believe you've spun this set of fixtures as being easy.
I'm not saying they're easy.
You're saying meaningful.
Friend.
No, but meaningful games are difficult games.
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, I'm saying that these games are now easier than they were a month ago.
Yeah,
because of the way things have panned out.
Yeah.
Can you actually I know I'm the optimistic Chelsea fan who's not got a clue, who people go, oh yeah, we wish Joey, but no chance or whatever. But is there any method behind that madness, or am I just a nutter?
Well,
tell me straight as a friend.
The fact that you've just said, that Liverpool game is is not meaningful and therefore more easy to win. Liverpool is going to be Liverpool. Let's be honest, that's not one of the hardest games of the season.
Did you expect us to win it?
No, I didn't. No,
then what's changed?
Okay. So you're writing that game off. But all of these, there's
no, I'm not
important to
writing
get
it
a
off.
result.
I'm calling it a 1-1 draw.
No, you're not. You're not.
Sam.
You said it was a loss when we did this.
Oh, and what? You've not changed your mind on none of them games now?
I've not. No.
No.
Well, I've got it up here, right? I said Spurs would be a draw. We'll probably draw that game.
You talk shit. You talk shit.
I said that was going to be a draw.
Yeah, you said it was going to be a draw, and what you're trying to do now is you're trying to deflect, and you're trying to say, oh no, I've not changed my mind on anything. Tell me, look me in the eye, are we beating Spurs tomorrow night?
It's a draw.
You are a fucking disgrace. You're a fucking disgrace.
Okay. Brentford, I said we're going to win. Ipswich, I said we're going to win. Fulham, I said we're going to draw, so I'm not changing that. They're still decent, Fulham. Everton, I said a draw. That's a 12:30 game. I don't think that's it.
12:30.
I don't think we're going to do that.
No one's ever won a 12:30.
I don't think we're
Chelsea
do that.
have never won a 12:30 game.
Never. To be fair, that is at home. And then Liverpool, I've said we'd lose. Newcastle, I said we'd lose. Man United, I said we'll win. And Forest, I said we'll draw last game of the season. No, I'm not changing any of those.
Well, you're an idiot then. Speaking of idiots, what about Spurs? Because I don't think that this season's kind of panned out the way they would have hoped, obviously.
Really?
No. Listen, last season, they were a win off cracking the top four. And if the coefficient had have gone our way in terms of English football to Premier League, then they would have been in the Champions League. They finished fifth, obviously. So, yeah, Europa League, still got something to play for. Currently sat in 14th as it stands at the time of recording. That could change after tonight's set of fixtures. They've had some standout wins. They have had some standout wins, haven't they?
Yes.
Obviously, the 3-0 win against Tamworth.
Yeah, that was a big game.
That was
really good result.
That was a big
Timo
game.
Werner was involved incredibly well in that game.
Yep. They put the 3 goals past Liverpool, didn't they?
Yep. Great result.
Great result. Not the result. They ended up losing that 6-3, but they put the 3 goals past Liverpool.
Any other memories of Tottenham Hotspur season?
In all seriousness, they beat Villa 4-0. They beat City, was it 4-1?
Yeah.
They beat Man United 3-0, I think.
Relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah. Then again, you look at all of those teams, domestically, they've all been underperforming.
Wasn't the Man City result as well in that period where they were just losing 9 games in a row?
9-0 every week. Yeah.
So that's not really a big scalp.
So yeah, no massive scalp. What's gone wrong for Postecoglou's men?
What's gone right? I mean, ultimately the injuries. Can we attribute
apparently the training ground barbecues are cracking?
Yeah. Can we just say that it's the injuries? Is it that simple? Because they have had a lot of injuries against some of their key players. They haven't really had a centre back all season. They lost the goalkeeper, who is probably one of their best players. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen Joey's combined 11, you need to watch that because that was a disgrace.
Why? What was up with it?
Put Heung-min Son in there.
Son's good.
He's good, but he's getting on a bit now, isn't he?
So who would you have over Son?
Madueke.
Come on. You're starting to lose credibility with this. You think
I'd have Sancho over Son.
You think Mikhailo Mudryk is a better player than Son?
Yes.
You'd have Sancho, who you're going, let's pay 5 mil to send him back.
I am winding
over the
I'm winding you up
greatest Asian footballer of all time.
No, I am winding you up about Son. But that list was just ridiculous. To not put Jorgensen in there was just a disgrace as well.
Vicario's way better.
Yeah.
You'd have Vicario.
Well, the answer is Petrovic.
Yeah,
isn't it?
but he's not technically ours. Now, they are without a win in their last three, Tottenham. They've only got one win at Stamford Bridge in the last 35 years. So the pessimist could say, well, they're due one. But the optimist could say, well, there you go. This is heritage, and this is the heritage of the Tottenham.
Yeah. You got to look at their squad now. They have got a lot of their big players back.
Which ones? Which ones?
Well, they've got Romero back at centre-back. Van de Ven's a 50-50, isn't he?
What's Romero's best trait? Quite good at pulling hair.
Quite good at pulling hair. Very good at a yellow card challenge. Yeah, bringing someone down. Yeah. They've got Vicario back.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the most key
Foster,
players.
Yeah.
They got Solanke back.
Chelsea reject.
Chelsea reject. Okay, fair enough.
Timo Werner.
They've got a lot of their wingers back. Odebear's back.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of their sort of like attacking options back.
Yeah.
So
you're not inspiring me, eh? No.
Is that not good enough?
Not really.
That's a lot more concerning than playing them in their injury crisis. So.
Not really bothered. Think they'll come to Stamford Bridge and get rolled over. And this on screen now is the lineup that gives us the best chance of rolling over Tottenham Hotspur. We are going with Jorgensen in goal, Reece James right back, Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwill as the centre backs, and Cucurella as the left back, who will inevitably bomb on and join in with that attack. We've gone Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in the pivot. Noni Madueke, he's been out a while and I've missed him. He's coming straight back in to the action, and then we're putting Cole Palmer back at centre attacking midfield, where he played so well at the start of the season off the back of Nicolas Jackson, who is obviously starting up top. Pedro Neto over on the left wing. He'll probably move over to the right wing when the subs start happening. Now, Josh, what do you think of that lineup? On a scale of 1 to,
amazing.
Oh my God, I am about to orgasm.
Yeah. How good is it? That is probably the best team that we could possibly put out right now.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we've got our key players back. Like the Wesley Fofana being back, I think is incredibly important to the way we play. I think having Noni on that right-hand side just brings a completely different dynamic to what we've had, without him. And I think his ability to beat players, get a shot away, occasionally do a cross when he fancies it, will be very, very important for us. And let's be fair, the most important player to be back is Nicolas Jackson. And I think that completely changes the way we play.
And he knows how to bag a goal or two against Spurs, doesn't he?
He does. He likes to fall over as he does it. But,
falling in style, Buzz.
Yeah.
There you go.
That game was a ridiculous game, wasn't it?
That game nearly gave me multiple heart attacks.
Yeah. Were we on the kickoff for that game?
Yeah, didn't you remember? That was like an epic stream, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was a great.
That was a
really, really good one.
That was a good one. The one real talking point here, and I don't want to spend too long talking about it, that's obviously our preferred lineup that you saw on the screen. But will you go with Jorgensen or will you stick with Sanchez?
No, it'll be Sanchez. And I do think with this game, there may be 3 centre-backs played. And if I was a betting man, I would probably bet on that being Badiashile as the third centre-back.
Potentially.
Weirdly.
Potentially.
Don't know why.
Potentially.
Just feel like he's probably got more pace in behind. I could see Wesley being on the right, Levi being in the middle, and then Badiashile on the left.
I'd prefer Wesley on the right, Trev in the middle, and Levi on the left.
Yeah, there you go. You can see that. I don't know what it is. He hasn't been playing Trev that much recently, has he?
Speaking of coming up against wingers, I don't think Timo Werner will play because he was injured for a couple of matches and then he was just not in the squad for a couple of matches. But we could be welcoming Timo Werner back to Stamford Bridge. Would you give him a warm welcome?
I wouldn't boo him, but I wouldn't sort of, clap him on.
I would.
He had a good moment for us, didn't he?
He had Loads of good moments.
He wasn't a dislikable guy. I didn't mind
Loads
him.
of good moments.
I didn't mind him, but he's gone to Spurs. So, you know,
He's
I don't
not gone directly
I
to
don't
Spurs,
yeah,
though.
but I don't love him.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
His best moment for Chelsea was a dummy run.
I don't think it's like, you know, if you're working at, I don't know.
McDonald's.
No, if you're working at the Ned, yeah.
Oh, you love the Ned.
If you're working,
Shout out the Ned.
if you're working at, well, you're surprised that I know the Ned.
I am very
That's
surprised.
basically it. You're surprised that I know the Ned, yeah. I'm sophisticated,
Are
mate,
you?
all right?
Are you?
Yeah,
Wow,
don't judge a
wow.
book by its
Yeah,
cover.
yeah.
But say you're working at the Ned, yeah, and then all of a sudden you get fired
Have
from
you
the
got a
Ned.
membership?
What, at the Ned?
Yeah.
I went in the Ned with you fucking idiot. I went there with you and
I
got
know,
smashed.
I know.
And then went to Misfits and
I know.
started causing a load of drama.
did.
Yeah, so anyway, you're working in the Ned. You get your P45. You go across the road. You work in that co-op. Is it a co-op opposite it?
Yeah,
It's
I think it is a
yeah.
co-op.
You go work in that co-op. You don't all of a sudden go, oh, boo, when you see him coming out of the co-op, do you? You go,
no.
fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
Didn't quite cut
Poor
the grade
you.
here. But, you know,
Yeah.
there you go.
But do you not remember the moments in which he did miss some sitters? You did kind of hate him at the time.
No, I didn't. I always
did it,
liked him, Werner.
Really?
Yeah, I always liked
Even
him.
when he was missing sitters?
Yeah, because he didn't actually really do that job for us, but I thought he
Yeah.
was a good player for us, and I thought he ran his socks off for us. And
I've
I
got
thought,
good fond memories of him. I much prefer, if it's him or Kai Havertz, I much prefer Timo.
I remember the 4-1 win against Southampton when Ward Prowse scored a penalty. Werner set one up and scored one in that game. I was sitting in the Matthew Harding lower, and we scored all our goals up at the shed end. So it was like
He was a grafter, wasn't he?
he was a grafter, and
Yeah.
that's what I like. I like a bit of work rate. It gets me thinking though. Best player to have played for both
clubs.
Spurs and
It's
Chelsea,
an
or
easy
favourite
option.
player?
It's an easy option.
Who?
Carlo Cudicini.
You're wrong.
No,
You're wrong.
no way.
Can I give some honourable mentions?
You can, but the answer is Carlo Cudicini.
You are wrong.
Go on then.
I promise
Give me
you,
the honourable mentions first, and then let's decide on the one.
I promise you are wrong.
Okay,
Okay?
well, it's not William Gallas, is it?
I'll go honourable mentions. William Gallas.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, did Ed de Hoyst play for Spurs at one point?
I can't remember that, but maybe.
Can't
I can't remember.
Can't remember. Doesn't matter.
No. He's not better than Carlo Cudicini, so it doesn't matter.
No, I know. Scotty Parker?
Yeah. Okay. Still not beating Carlo.
There's people that will be screaming at the screen right now.
Yeah.
Gus Poyet?
Gus Poyet was unbelievable. Scored one of my favourite Chelsea goals of all time. Do you remember it?
Yeah, of course.
Scissor kick.
Yeah. A Chelsea fan who terrorises Spurs on the regular, yet played for Spurs.
Come,
Who is it?
tell me.
Jason Cundy?
Jason Cundy, yeah.
Yeah?
You love his talk
There's
sport
been
stuff.
more in the Premier League era. Obviously, Solanke came through our academy. But the reason you're wrong on Carlo Cudicini is there is a man that in 2009 played 11 games for Spurs. And you're forgetting it.
Tell me who it is then.
I'll give you a clue. You and his son, like this.
Ida.
Idiger Johnson. I win. Just admit it. Just be humble for once and just admit that I win.
How many games did he play?
Just to call it 11 games.
Did he score?
Yeah.
Was he known
Did
for playing
Cudicini
for
score?
them? Yeah, but Cudicini saved loads of goals.
Did he?
He did.
No, there you
No,
go.
fair enough. No, I will put my hands up. Idiger Johnson is better.
Idiger Johnson
But
is better.
shout out to Carlo Cudicini.
Shout out. Big up Carlo Cudicini. Follows me on Instagram.
I would
so
love him to
big
be on the
shout out.
podcast. Get him on.
I'll just, mate, I'm Peter Cech off the way of collecting the full set.
Yes.
I actually am, aren't I?
No, you are. Lenny Pidgley.
The Pidge dog
Pidge dog.
follows.
Yeah.
The Cudicini dog follows.
Yeah.
And now I need Kepa Peck.
Beck. I was telling some family friends about Lenny Pidgley, and they thought that I'd made up the name.
Oh, Lenny Pidgley?
Yeah, they thought that I'd made up the name Lenny Pidgley.
Oh, the Pidge dog follows.
Yeah,
I don't know if he watches, but he follows on Instagram.
Yeah, but he watches.
He probably watches.
What a fucking hero. He's got one of my favourite Chelsea memories of all time, which was that trophy lift.
Yeah, legend in the white kit.
Yeah.
Loved that kit.
Do you know
Banger.
what? I rated it so highly that he got right involved in that as well.
Yeah,
he
good
put
man.
himself
Good
right
man.
at the front of that trophy lift, and I respect it.
I've seen certain podcasts. I don't know whether it was JT or whatnot, but they were saying he was big in the dressing room. Like, you know,
Lenny
like
was.
at the minute. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. So, you know, at the minute, like,
Bettinelli.
you don't really think he might be.
Yeah.
But like Bettinelli,
know.
Bergstrom, like whatever, I don't know like how important they are.
Yeah.
But I think the Pidge Dog could have a right laugh. Like, I think he had a bit of crack about him. So
Have you seen JT's got his boots back on and playing with the under 21s this week?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Bring him back.
Fucking absolutely.
He could be playing in this game.
I've got a message from him on Instagram as well. I think JT might follow me. I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure.
After that comment, surely he does.
I think he does follow me.
Surely he does.
I think he does. Yeah. He sent me a message. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to talk to JT.
Oh, I'd love to get him on.
I'd love to get him on.
Yeah.
So much.
He
He would speak his mind as well, wouldn't he?
Let's have a score prediction because you're saying that we draw the game.
I am going to go for a Desmond.
2-2.
I'm going to go for a 2-2.
Pathetic. You're right about one thing, Josh. We do put 2 goals past them. Cole Palmer gets back on the score sheet, and so does Nicolas Jackson.
Is it a pen?
It's not a pen, no. But it's just a terrific little free kick. Like that. And obviously, we will see you, or I will see you in the post-match review. I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? My Misfits fight is next weekend. I was supposed to be sparring today. My sparring partners let me down last fucking minute. So I probably won't be sparring today, and it might mean that I'm sparring tomorrow, which means I'm going to be home in time to catch the game, but whether I'm going to be home in time to stream the game is a completely different question, so I'm not too sure on it. It's up in the air. Follow me on social media. I'm on the Instagram, Joey Knight Podcast. I'll put it out on my story whether I'm doing a stream or not. But if I'm not doing a stream, I definitely will be doing a post-match review. Thank you all very much for sticking around to the end of another video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And Josh and Joey, our joint podcast, which is picking up a lot of momentum, is linked in the description to this video. So if you want to see us talking about mostly true crime cases at the minute, then definitely head over there and give that a follow. And before I leave, we have missed talking to these lot on this specific channel rather than the Joey and Josh podcast so much, haven't we?
So much. And I just want to say to all of these guys, because they've come over to Joey and Josh, but really they're here for the football. Thank you so much if you have come over to the Joey and Josh podcast. But I have missed chatting to them. And I miss chatting about Chelsea. And I very much want to do a live stream together. And I very much want to end the season on a high, because I think there is something there potentially.
Why don't we end the season getting high? I have my Misfits fight. You try your first edible.
That's fine.
You'll do it? Will you do it?
No.
No, you're fucking boring. Right, I'll see you in the next one.